Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are all tuning in from. Welcome to the webinar. As we let some more people trickle in, where actually is everyone joining us from around the world today? I'm always curious. I am in Langley, British Columbia. Where's everybody else today? Do we know where we are today? It's Friday, end of the week. Maybe we don't know. Seattle, cool, not that far away. Sacramento, California, awesome. Mel is here, by the way. She'll be answering questions. She's our head of marketing. She'll be in the chat as I'm speaking to answer some questions. London, Derby, cool. All right, so we got both extremes of time zones. So today's webinar is about how to connect multiple robots for deeper data extraction. So we call it deep scraping. If you go even one level down from just a list page, and now we're going to do actually multiple levels of deep scraping. And before that, I'll have a few slides to kind of talk about Browse AI in general. Not too many, trying to cut down on slides. And then we will jump into some live demo stuff to show off some things. Nice. India, very cool. All right, let's get going. So first of all, who am I? My name is Nick. I am a product marketer here at Browse AI. I joined Browse AI in August of 2023. Before that, I worked at Zapier for 7 years. So I started as a customer champion, then went into customer success, then community manager. And Zapier touches a lot of apps. So I just kind of got into no code and automation and apps and AI and all that stuff. And I actually bought the original Browse AI lifetime deal years back. So they were on my radar before ever even joining the company. So very cool to work here now. So what is Browse AI? You probably know, but maybe you haven't signed up yet. Browse AI, in a nutshell, is a no-code tool that lets you extract data from any website. So you do not need to know how to use code at all to set up web scraping. Typically, you do, if you want to set up web scraping, need to know some code, not with Browse AI. You can monitor websites for changes automatically. So you pick a schedule of your choosing, and then we check the website you've decided to scrape on that schedule to see if there's any new data. You can integrate that data into your existing tools. So whatever your existing tech stack might be, you can send data into those apps. We have some native integrations. We also integrate with Zapier and Make and Pabbly Connect. In between all of those, and we have an API and webhooks. So between all those, there's a good chance you can get your data where you want it. And that's just some of the reasons why we're trusted by over 500,000 people worldwide, 500,000 users worldwide. It's a very flexible solution. So anyone from a startup or a freelancer, a solopreneur, all the way to small, medium business to enterprise. So we've got users across the entire spectrum there. Here are just some of the use cases. Competitive intelligence is a big one, keeping track of data across the internet for competitors. Lead generation, so getting contacts from directories. Many directories out there have listings, and just getting data from those. Market research, content aggregation. Real estate's a big one, real estate analytics. LLMs is becoming one because LLMs can process data that might not be so structured. So you just get everything, toss it into the LLM like OpenAI or Claude, and have it do the work for you. I'm curious if anyone's willing to share, what are your use cases here? Anybody have a use case they want to share? It doesn't have to be specific, just maybe generally speaking. Anybody willing to share? I'll give it a second, and then I'll jump into the live demo stuff. Fun fact, I actually chose some of the websites that registrants said they were looking to scrape as examples for this first part of the demo. Update a Google Sheet with fuel prices from fuel docs around the Puget Sound. See, I couldn't have come up with that. I wouldn't have known that was the thing. Building a database, absolutely. I want to create an email list from a website. Yeah, these are all great examples. So let me jump into the demo portion. I won't be watching the comments so much now, but Mel will be in the comments checking out to answer any questions y'all have. So these are some of the websites that people listed as wanting to scrape. So this webinar is going to focus on how to take data from a list page that looks like this, or some of the other examples I'm going to show, to scrape this, and then also go one level deeper to get data from those detail pages, and then even one level deeper. And I'll show you that in a minute here. So this is an example of a list page. You scroll down and there are multiple different items listed on this page. This would be another example, TripAdvisor. These are all different items. There's usually filters you can put in, or you can use a search to find these items. This would be another example, seek.com.au. They all look different, but they're all lists of items that you can scrape. Another one would be LinkedIn here, for example, for jobs, Redfin for homes. They've got split view and map view, so you can even change how things look amongst each list on websites. And this was a new one for me, Quoted. I wasn't aware of this one. This is actually a great example of a directory, a place where, and you just go to the main website here. No, that's not it. Sorry. But on the main website, it's like expert database, and then you end up in something like this. So this is great. These folks have all their information here ready for someone to come in and find them. So this would be a great one to scrape. So those are examples of list pages. Let's look at detail pages on those same sites. So this would be a single company. So from the list view, you would click into one company, and you might want to get things like description or all these tags here, or information about when it was founded, anything else on this page. Same with individual properties or hotels. You could want to get all kinds of data from each single page that's not available from the list page. Seek, this would be a single job, all kinds of information here that wasn't on that list page. Same with a single job here on LinkedIn. There's all kinds of data you won't get unless you go one level deeper. So deep scraping. And then Redfin, much like other websites that have homes on them, like Zillow, there's a lot of data hiding in here. And lastly, this is an individual from Quoted. So there's a lot of information here for this person. So if you were able to scrape the first page and then click in to each of these websites, that might be pretty handy. And I will show you how to do that. So I'm going to use Capterra as an example, both because it's pretty familiar to most people, and we have two pre-built robots that we can use, and I will custom build a third one. So you get to see how pre-built robots work, how quick they are to use. So we've got one that gets a software list, one that gets software reviews. These are both the pre-built robots. And I'm going to custom build one to get software details. So details from that software single page about the software itself. So not reviews. So these are the pre-built robots we have for Capterra. So I'm going to use this one here, extract reviews, and then software list. So the first one is software list. So when you click on this use automation button, you'll end up on a page like this. And we give an example usually in case you're not quite sure what format we're looking for. So in this case, it will look something like this, which is actually this page. So this is the list of softwares from that particular category of SMS marketing. So let's actually just copy this and paste it. And I'll say, let's do 25 companies max. Next step, that's it. There's no next step. You're just finished. You just give it the URL, and we've kind of fine-tuned and chosen the data points you probably want. Might not be 100% what you exactly want, but there's a good chance you'll get what you need. Otherwise, you build a custom robot. So finish. All right, so that one is now running. While that's running, let's go to the next one. Extract reviews from a Capterra listing. So once again, you'll see an example of the URL we're looking for, which is actually this one right here. So we're going to get the reviews from down here. Down here, all these reviews. So let's copy this, paste it in here, next step, and finish. So that's pretty easy. We've already just built two robots. And while those are running, let's custom build the last robot. So let's use actually this Enscape as an example. So if you look at the URL here, you'll see it's reviews / a number and then the company. If you click on right here in the breadcrumbs and go up a level, you'll see it's / software and the number and the company. So this page looks a little different. There is a reviews tab that you could get to, but there's some data here, like about, countries available, support, languages, that is not available in the list or on that reviews page, and I would like to get it. So I'll copy this URL, build a custom robot. So you go to robots, build new robots, and then extract structured data. I won't do monitor site changes because I'm not going to build that out just yet. I'll show that a little bit later. So extract structured data. I'll paste the URL. I don't need to log into this website. Conveniently, we do show that we have some pre-built robots for that website, for Capterra. In this case, not quite the one I'm looking for. So I will custom train it. start training robot, use Robot Studio, which is our latest development. We began with a Chrome extension, but everything new and upcoming is in Robot Studio. So use Robot Studio. So far we used 2 pre-built robots, one to get a list, one to get reviews, and I'm about to custom build one to get details from the single page. So let's capture text. I don't want a list right now. This is not a list of items. This is just a single thing. I do recommend, even though you think you might not need it because you're getting it elsewhere, I do recommend getting whatever the name of the thing is. The person, the company, the listing, whatever it is, I do recommend getting that. In our case, our 2 pre-built robots can actually speak to each other to get into the reviews. But let's say the first list item didn't have a link to reviews. You could get it right here. So this would be the link right here. Sometimes you have to move your mouse around just so to get it. Actually, first I'll get just the number here, the rating and the number of reviews, and then I'll come back through. What else might I want? Let's just actually get those 2 things. Yeah, those 2 things. And then if I wanted this information about the vendor, you notice how everything is selected here? I don't necessarily want about the vendor to be in there. So if I move down a little bit, that's what I want. I just want these pieces here. And I'll take that visible text. Countries available, same thing. If you go up, it shows just the title. If you go down, it shows all of it, but I don't want all of it. I just want this. So those slight mouse movements will help you get exactly what you want. Chat, and then I'll do the languages. And then let's go back through and get the link. So see right there, visible text, comma, link, comma, HTML. So when I click on this, I want the link. And you'll see that it looks like what I showed earlier, /reviews, / a number. So I'll get it from here to show you, in case the original didn't give it to you from the list, which sometimes you don't, you have to dig in, how you could use this in a workflow. And I think I will click confirm. So that's all I want for my text here. So call it name. This isn't quite lining up. I don't know why that is. I happen to know the order I got them in. So rating, reviews. I'll just make these short for the sake of time. About, countries avail, support. Another tip. Don't write things specific to the one listing you're scraping. So don't call it Enscape support, because you will later scrape sites that are pages that are not Enscape. So you want to be kind of generic. So it's just support. And then languages, and then let's call this reviews link. Notice when I try and type reviews, it says, hey, you're already using that. You can't use it twice, but I'm typing reviews link. Okay, so we got the name, rating, reviews, about, countries available, support, languages, and the reviews link. Let's save this capture text. Now, for the sake of demo, I do want to show you that lists can exist on a detail page. So for example, this would probably be a list of items right here. The reviews would definitely be a list, but features, where are the features? Did I pass them? This one doesn't have many features. Okay, well, I'll select them anyways. So capture text from a list. It's more obvious when there's a larger number, but this, list item 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll click on this to get the features of this software. And now this looks a lot like what you would get if you did a list on a list page. But this happens to be in a detail page. So you can do both. You can get static text and also a list of items. So features looks good to me. I'll say maximum. Let's do custom, I don't know, 20. Maybe some have more. Pagination is an interesting one. I'm going to review the pagination setting. This is not quite correct. The robot thought maybe this was pagination for what I'm doing, but it's not, and there won't be pagination in this section. So I will reselect and click no more items to load, because I believe they show all the features in that section and then there's nowhere else to go. All right, so I will save that captured list and then be done. Let's finish this robot. We do have a new feature, brand new, that we suggest a name for your robot. So software details. That's not a terrible name. Software details. Yeah, I'll keep that actually. All right, so it's already done. 8 pieces of text and 4 list items. You can review it here. These are the captured texts and these are the features. Yes, looks good. So let's go back to the other. Yep. So reviews from Capterra listing. We got those reviews, 10 of them. Looks good. And software lists. All right, looks good. So now let's go to this page actually. So I want to show something that is brand new as well. We've changed how we display robots. So notice how Capterra.ca, I'm showing all the robots, the ones you saw earlier that I had already pre-made, and these ones we just did. So I like this as a means to show just these robots for that site. So what's next? What can you do now that you've got a list of items and you've got reviews from that software and you've got details about the software? Actually, I'm going to rename these. I want these to be named like before. So software list, software reviews, software details. Let's go into settings. And then once we get all these named appropriately, I will show you how to connect things. You can do it either a bit manually or you can automate some things. All right, so these are all named how I want them to be. So let's say I wanted to get reviews from different softwares, not just the one that I scraped. Well, I can go to the table for the software list. And this is the one run that I've done for that particular category. So I can click on this little I next to 25 companies, and this will show me all of the companies I scraped. Perfect. I will now just export this list as a CSV. And once I download this, I can re-upload it into the reviews robots table to tell it to go to all of those sites to get what I want. Nope, that's not what I want. I'm going to show all for Capterra. All right, so software reviews, tables, import CSV right here. So you can see the one that we've done was that one site. And you can see the reviews in here. Be a lot of reviews, 10 of them. Go back to the main tab, and I want to import a CSV. You could add €1 if you just wanted one single company, but I'm going to import my CSV. You can download a sample, which will just have the exact columns you need. Otherwise, you can export and re-import. And I'll show you something that might throw you for a loop, but is not a big deal. So right here. It looks like something's wrong. It only looks that way because the output had something called origin URL, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something to fit into this. So I'm going to go down here to map the data. So Capterra URL for extracting reviews. So that's going to be the reviews link. That's what I called it from the previous robot. So reviews link is what I want to use. All right, now it works. It didn't know where to find that column because I didn't have it named appropriately, but I just tell it. And now let's start extracting data. So this is called a bulk run. Bulk runs will show up here in your table, and you can monitor them in here as they're happening. So these are all queued. And also you can go into history and see that this is a bulk run and the percentage that is complete. And if you click into check details, you can see each and every one of the items in that bulk run, just like in tables. So you can see this one's running the task, which is down my calls, sales message. So this is one thing you can do. You can do a bulk run if you just want to take a list that you've scraped, bring it into the next robot, and then get it done that way. That's great. That might be fine. You might just have a one-time use. You can also, though, build workflows. And the way a workflow works is, I've got 2 of them built already. You tell the workflow which robot to start with. So when, you know what, let's build it. I'll rebuild it. Not show you the old ones. Let's rebuild it. So Capterra list to reviews. Let's call it demo to differentiate. So I select the first robot. The first robot is going to be software list. So that's the one that runs, gets the list of items I want. And robot B is going to be software reviews. So every time, well, I'll show you how the filter here. First, you got to pick the URL. So it's reviews link. I've got 3 of them: reviews link, product detail link, and website. It's reviews link. Keep 10 as the maximum number of reviews and go next step. So now you decide, when do I want robot B to go. After robot A runs, do I want it always? So anytime robot A runs, always do robot B. Always go get the reviews. Or only if robot A finds changes, if robot A finds new items, or new or changed. So you've got some flexibility about when to keep this workflow running to the next step. So save and enable workflow. All right, so that is the first one, software list to software reviews. Now, I did mention if we go to, oh, my tabs are all mixed up, software list. If you go to tables, you'll see that the software list actually does show me the product detail link and the reviews link. So that's great. I can do product details as well as a workflow. And I can also do something else. So go back to workflows, build another one here. Let's add a new workflow. So I'll do demo, Capterra list, details. So now I want the details. I don't want just reviews. I also want details. And I am getting that link from the list. So that's perfect. So I'll go software list is the one that kicks it off. Next step, robot B is going to be software details. So not reviews this time. And origin URL is product detail link. If you weren't getting the appropriate URL, you wouldn't be able to do this. So make sure that as you're creating your robots, or if you use prebuilt, that you've got the next link you'll need to go deeper. So product detail link, leave that at 20, go next step, and I'll just keep always, I guess, save and enable workflow. So now we've got, let's go back to workflows. We've got these two workflows. When I get a Capterra list, run reviews. When I get a Capterra list, get the details. That's great. That's awesome. In this case, I had exactly what I needed. But what if I didn't have within my list the link to reviews? What if the link to reviews was only on the middle page, that detail page? What we can do is you can chain robots together such that this would run, get the details, and then the middle one would be Capterra details to reviews. So I would then pick the middle one, which I'm getting details, go next. And remember, details are the one that I built, and I specifically got the reviews link. Even though I knew I didn't need it, for this demo, I wanted to show that you would need to get that in order to go a level deeper. So robot B will be reviews. And again, see, reviews link. That's the one that I selected. So it can be the case sometimes, depending on your list, that you won't get the link directly from that list to go a third level deep. You might just get the detail and not reviews or comments or any other thing that's deeper down. So I've showed you both how to do a 3 robot solution if you need to, or just 2 robots it might be all you need to do to get the deep scraping. Or 2 workflows, I should say. 3 robots, 2 workflows. Let's go next and then save and enable workflow. Great. So to recap, let me just show you again here. Let's check out some of these lists actually. So this is a great example. There's nothing on this list that would help me go deeper than just the next level. There's nothing that says reviews or anything like that. TripAdvisor list. Yeah, there's link to reviews. Yep, that one's good. Seek. If there are reviews or comments, there's nothing here. Same with this. There might be another level deeper. So it could be the case you have to build 3 robots and then chain them together. So level 1 to level 2, and then level 2 to level 3. So the workflows are built, but how does the first robot know to run? It hasn't been told anything yet. So we need to go to that first robot, which is software list. So that kicks off everything, whether you're doing software list to get reviews and software list to get details, or if you've got them chained sequentially, you do need to kick this one off somehow, software list. So that's where a monitor comes in. So I will create a monitor to tell this first level robot when to run. So maybe I want to just do it on weekdays. Maybe weekends don't matter to me. Let's pick 12 p.m. I'll pick my time zone. So this is the URL that I trained it on, but maybe I want a different URL. Maybe I don't want to use that one. Maybe I want to use a different category. So let's go to software categories. I can click CAD software and get this URL. So that's the beautiful thing about a monitor is Where did I build it? Yes, right here. You can change the URL as long as it's a similar page. So not a random page on that website, not a different website, a page that has that similar structure, which most of these like list item pages on a website will have. So let's replace this one with this. And I'll call it CAD software. So this is another important point, that you don't need to build separate robots for each of these categories. That would be super tedious. You just build different monitors. So you might have 5 categories you're trying to monitor. You would just build a different monitor for each one, and then it gets the list, and then your workflow goes to whatever you've said to do. Get the details, get the reviews, whatever you want to have happen. So that is how to build a workflow, how to do a bulk run by exporting and importing, how to add a monitor to kick everything off. And let me show you what the end result could be in one of my favorite apps for this purpose, Airtable. So you could, with a bit of time, not much time, make a nice unified view. So these are each of my robots I have integrated with Airtable. So it sends me the companies, it sends me the captured texts, it sends me the features and the reviews. And what I can do is on this main tab, and I won't get into the nitty gritty because you may not care, but on this main tab, I've got what companies sent me, and I've also got a lookup into captured texts, which gives me the about, the countries, the support, and the languages. So all from this one database here. And then from features, I can look it up to get the features for that app. And same with review titles. So if I fully fill this out, I would have all the information about all of the apps. And I could even automate this within Airtable to not do these connections manually, but to do them automatically. But check this out. I have limited this field such that when I click in, it will only show me the one in the other table that is linked to it. And then it pulls each of these in. Or it doesn't because it's a live demo. There we go. Zoho Books. So see how that's coming in automatically because I said, when I connect this, show me these other fields from that other record here, which means also I can click in here and these are all the features. This is a little tedious. I don't know that I would do this. It's kind of nice to have the option, but I would probably automate it. But this is what you can end up doing is one unified view of all the data from your multiple robots that are all connected with a workflow and a monitor to kick everything off. So let's jump out of demo into...
Hey, Nick, we got a great question here from Ken.
Yeah.
It's asking, each time the monitor runs, does it create a new table or will it update a pre-existing one?
It updates the existing table. It's not a new table, but it will be a different task. So you can filter, but I should maybe show that. Let's see.
That's why I asked IRL.
Yeah, let me see. So let's go into too many tabs. Okay, so tables. I did run this. Did I run it on something? I didn't run it again. I did. Perfect. Okay. So this one is queued, but this one is running. So you'll see here from the main tab. Let's actually go to companies. So if you go to companies, you'll see these are all the companies here. They're all in one view. But if you want to filter in, you can go to the main tab and say, I just want to see this one here. So a monitor will run a task, which you can then click on from that main tab to see just that one task. You can also go to history if you want to see just the run right here as well. That's a place you can see it. You can scroll down and see it not in a table, but see it in this view here. So yes, that's a good question. It doesn't create a new table. It just adds to that same table, but you can filter in based on seeing the separate runs of it. Hope that was clear.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to chat
about some things.
Yeah. So really excited to talk to everyone. We'll talk about plans, pricing, options, and then we're going to wrap up at the end with any questions anyone has. Laura Lee, if you're still on this call, I've pulled up, I have like a robot with the URL that you're looking for. So we can end live with me showing how to extract the data that you're looking for, if you want to stick around. So, great news for everyone on the call. You are all should be on free plans with Browse AI. Maybe you've upgraded since then. One of the biggest benefits that Browse AI has is regardless of plan, whether you're on our free plan or one of our paid plans or even our enterprise level plans, our core functionality is actually the same across the entire platform. So no matter what plan you're on, you have full functionality in terms of the great integrations that Nick talked about, things like monitors, in terms of like runtime, bot detection, all those things are core to our platform no matter which plan you're on. So great news for everyone on the call. If you are looking to expand your data extraction with us in terms of what packages to get, so these are the most common questions I get when I'm looking to upgrade, and these are the most kind of recommended packages. So if you're on this call and you're looking to extract data for one-time use, you have one project, I love to recommend our starter annual 10K plan. The reason why I like that plan is if you go with any of our annual plans, the biggest benefit you get is one, you get all credits up front. So what that means is you get 12 months worth of credits on day one, and you can use them as you see fit. So if you have a one-time project, you can use it within 45 days, 48 days, 52 days. You don't have to be beholden to that 30-day, 1-month plan. And second is you save 20%. So it's the cheapest way to kind of run that one-time use project. If you do have an ongoing use case, I like to recommend either our monthly or annual plans. Month to month is obviously better if you're maybe just testing it out to see if there's validation for value, so you're not locked in. You can cancel at any time within 30 days. And then our annual plans, just like I mentioned for the single use case, if you know that you're already kind of using this solution and you really know that you've already validated the value of the data, it's the cheapest way for you to really kind of scale with us. It's the lowest price per credit. And again, because you get 12 months of credits up front, you don't really need to worry about your month-to-month usage. You can manage that on a yearly basis, which a lot of our customers prefer. If all of these options seem too much for you, the other option we have are managed services. So there are two types of managed services that we offer. One is we do everything for you. So maybe you're on this call and you're like, I just need data. I'm not going to set up robots, or my use case is super complex. Or maybe I want complex post-processing or data transformation, or I'm looking to create a database that's merging different data sets. If any of those things resonate with you, we have lots of customers on our managed services platform that essentially we build everything, manage everything, data. We do data delivery, data QA, data integrations. Basically, you do nothing and you just get delivered exactly what you want. The other option that we offer within our managed services is some of our customers want help getting started, but then they want to kind of take the keys of the car from there and scale on their own. So maybe you're sitting on this call thinking, geez, for my use case, I'm going to have to set up 100 robots. I don't have time for that, or I want to make sure it's done properly. Or maybe my use case is a little bit more technically complex where I could use somebody one-on-one kind of teaching me or my team of how to kind of set that all up. That's another option that we offer. Both packages I mentioned start at $500 a month paid annually. And if you're interested, let me know, drop in the chat, write email back to Nick, and I'll connect you to our managed services team. Does anyone have questions? What does Ken say? I want to link Browse AI to a Google Sheet. The sheet tracks prices that are displayed on a web page. I want Browse AI to see if the price has changed on the web page, and if so, update the value in the relevant Google Sheet. Am I creating a table in Browse AI and then linking the table to Google Sheets?
So this is a trickier one. So you don't connect tables to Sheets. You connect the robots to Google Sheets. So tables is built into Browse AI. Integrations just happen at the robot level. So you can definitely send to Google Sheets. You can definitely trigger to only send to Google Sheets based on changes. We don't quite have the ability to update an existing row in Google Sheets. Coming from Zapier for 7 years, even Zapier had a hard time with Google Sheets and updating things because of how Google Sheets does that. So even a full automation platform had a hard time nailing this down. But you could try something like Zapier or Make or Pabbly for something a bit more complex, like updating a specific row. You can send it again with the changed data, but it would be a new row coming with the native integration.
All right, and Nagash is asking out of curiosity, could you kindly explain how LinkedIn might detect scraping through other methods like behavioral patterns, cookie auth tokens, HTTP header anomalies, or account metadata? How your tool practically prevents these triggering blocks? So specifically for the pre-built robots that I shared, those are like managed and owned by us internally. So we're like basically we proactively monitor those. We make changes and updates based on how LinkedIn updates its site. So those are like any pre-built robot is essentially managed for all of the things that you mentioned by us. If you want to scrape data from LinkedIn using your own login, that I would say is a direct risk probably to the login of which you're using. So we definitely, if you're using Browse AI, you're going to be going through our IP, so it's not going to track back to your IP or anything like that. But if you're using your own personal login to log into LinkedIn and it does detect you, that's a possibility. We do have people who scrape LinkedIn with their logins, but that's kind of a at your own risk kind of situation because they can terminate your account if you're caught doing that. So I would look at the terms and conditions of all of your user agreements for if you're using your user login to scrape data using Browse AI. But if specifically you're looking to use our pre-built robots, you don't have to, you can run that in incognito and not even run a single one of your logins and it will not be connected to you. That's completely separate. If I use
And coming in with
Airtable,
the great questions.
yeah. If I
Uh,
use Airtable instead of Google Sheets, would that remove the issue you know?
well, maybe this is worth making a video about. Airtable has automations built in, and I've used them to kind of not do that via Zapier, because if it's happening in Airtable, Airtable has automations that work better within its own product. So you can look up a thing and then update that record. So you could pull data, I'd have to try it, but I think you could pull data from Browse AI into Airtable, have an automation that finds that, and then updates it with whatever came in. So I think you could do it that way. Google Sheets is great. It's free. It just doesn't work as much like a database as I would like it to. So it's better for just putting data there, but keeping it up to date is not always as easy.
Google Sheet nerd here.
Yeah, maybe.
You could probably have a formula within the cell that you want to update that looks at the most recent value, I would
Hmm.
assume.
Hmm.
I'd have to think through the formula logic, but I would bet that you could do that.
It's a great
Even
question for ChatGPT.
if you had like
Challenge
some kind of
myself.
formula, even like, my God, I'm spitballing, but even if you look at like today's date minus date last scraped and then look at the lowest level, like I bet you could figure out a formula. I would put that into G2 or sorry, ChatGPT.
It's funny
The
you should ask
formula looks
about
at the
Excel, because I just
formula looks at the
yesterday was
browser AI
talking.
table. No, the formula, you would have a different tab in your Google Sheet in my version of what you're trying to create, that would look at the output tab from Browse AI and put that into like the clean table that you want.
So Ken had a question about Excel as well. I actually recorded a video yesterday how to do Excel. You have to do it through Zapier. We don't have a native integration, but you can get it into, if you have like the online version of it, like Office 365, OneDrive, you can get it into Excel. Again, I'm not an expert at Excel and Google Sheets and what you can do. I just know that Airtable works more like a database, has automations built in.
Theoretical use case. If I want to build a data set of active VC investors on LinkedIn, would you suggest we use your pre-built robot to avoid the issue just discussed? So our pre-built robots for LinkedIn specifically don't extract lead data in that way, question mark. Just trying to think of a way that they could. Let me just open up here. I'm going to share the link to, there's LinkedIn. So currently, our pre-built robots scrape job postings, job details, job listing information, company information, and company search results. So I can share them here. If Nick, that's something you want to do with like creating like a search within your LinkedIn and extracting a list, and you're using your own personal LinkedIn, it's possible for your own personal LinkedIn to get for them to revoke that access based on you violating the terms of agreement, as far as I understand with LinkedIn. So something that you could do, but you would have to assume that risk, or probably find a different way. And then Laura Lee. So, hey Nick, do you have
Yeah,
can you go to Browse AI? I'm gonna send you a link. I've tested it, so don't be
you're going to
afraid.
send me a link?
I'm gonna send you a link.
Where are you sending this link?
I sent it to you on Slack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I just checked that out. we don't have a pre-built robot, but I've never heard of this site, and it looks pretty cool. We could maybe build a
Let's
pre-built
do it
robot.
live. Let's live
Build
it.
a pre-built robot?
No. Just show how to
Oh, just
extract,
build a
like,
robot.
how easy it is to extract the
Yeah,
data
you
live.
wouldn't need a pre-built. You would.
No, you would not be a
Okay.
pre-built robot, Laura Lee, so we can show you live.
You're
I'm
right.
putting Nick on the spot here.
Live.
He's gonna
Okay.
love this.
All right. So let's go to the end here. Do a little pre-setup before I just launch in here. Okay. Let's get all kinds of windows happening now.
Yes, Tony, there will be a replay. We sent it out to everybody. Laura Lee, you're getting like a personal demo. If anyone else wants a personal demo of any sites, send them out.
Oh, I'll take the slides off. Keep you here with me, Mel, since you put me in this. All right, so I've got the URL copied.
Forced you into this.
And I'm going to do the extraction right here. New robots.
Yeah.
Start training robots. Use Robot Studio.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I guess I didn't show how to build a list scraping robot.
Yeah.
This one's even more fun because it does a lot of the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So there's no crazy bot detection. There's no logins. This is awesome. All right.
Yeah,
so
it's a really good use case, I thought.
Yeah, it's great. It's a nice looking website too.
Yeah.
On the list, and then you hover, and look how easy that is. Just hover, and it's like, these are list items. So I like to scroll down to the bottom and see. I don't know the exact number. Oh, wow, this is...
Wow, there's a lot.
But when I hover here, it says list item 34. That says to me that's probably correct. So I will click. And when I click, if everything goes well, see how it's scanning each of these list items to get all these data points. So this is probably a lot of what you would want. You may be fine just saving it as is. If you're missing something, you can select manually instead. So we find the list and you say what pieces of the list items you want, but otherwise this would be it. And I'll show you pagination as well.
Yeah. And then Laura Lee specifically was also looking at creating another robot for the sub pages. Like, is this like a mini deep scrape?
Yeah.
Might as well got 18 minutes.
Just 2 levels.
Yeah.
So the robot has found the next page automatically. So that is great. I will confirm. This is how to find more items. You don't want to click on this. That's not more items. That's just one more page. You want the one that will apply to every page you're on, which would be the next page. I'll confirm this. And then let's save this captured list. And let's finish.
And Laura Lee, you can set up monitoring too. So if anything changes on any of these pages, you can have like a refreshed lead list for yourself.
All right, so I'm back on the site, and now I'll click into one of these schools. This is the thing about deep scraping. It doesn't matter which individual item you choose, although if some of them will have more of the data fields you want, and some might be missing it, you want to pick the best representation of the ideal detail page. I don't know what that is, so I'll just click the first one and get this URL, and then go back to Browse AI. So this is still running. Build a new robot. Extract structured data, paste. This is the single item. Start training robot, use Robot Studio. So an example of why you would pick one single page versus another is one might have pricing info and one doesn't, but you want to get pricing info when it's there. So pick the best example you can find. I like this website. We should build a pre-built robot for it. All right, so this will be a lot like the Capterra example where I'm on a single page and I will capture text. There might even be some sublists. See, this is great, actually. Uh-oh, I've been spotted. So now we're trying something different. We're trying a different tactic to see if we can get, as you can imagine, a website like that doesn't probably want to make it easy. So, ta-da. Here we go. So now it is loaded. I will capture text. So I don't know what was on the list page and what wasn't, but let's just click just text. Get the name, visible text, get the overall grade here. Can I get, yeah, see how I just moved it a bit and I get the A+ and not the other words. I'll get private boarding school, I'll get 8 to 12, location. Let's get the number of reviews, visible text, and let's see, is there a link to, let's see, a link to get to more reviews. Let's confirm that. See if I can get a list also. Grade, I don't know what that is. Let's say call it type. Grades, location, and reviews. Okay, so that's the static text. Are there some lists on this page? I'd be willing to bet this is one. Capture text from a list. Yeah, look it out. So this is a list that breaks down the grade that it gets, the overall niche grade. So it gets each of these items. So that's pretty cool. That's cool to know. Oh, great icon. So they made it an icon. That's tricky. Let's select manually instead. See if I can get something. Oh, is it going to cancel? No, just a list. All right, so I'll select this list of 6 items. And let's see if I can get something different. Visible text. See, check it out. So our robot, when it went through automatically, didn't get this. But when you select manually, instead of letting the robot do it, I can get the grade. So now it'll get each grade from each of these items. So some might be C's or B's, and you want to know what each separate one is broken down, and then just the name of it. Where did you go? This guy. Did I do that twice? I might have. You get the idea, though. So this would be... I've already used grade. I don't know, single grade. You got to be careful with how you name things. You get the idea, though. And I did it twice, so that's not good. So can I delete you? Not right now. Oh, I'll show you something, actually. I can delete this. I can click on the column and delete it because I made a mistake and I didn't want to redo all my selecting, so I'll just delete that. So single grade, grade item. I don't know how many they have, but let's say 10. There's no pagination because it's just a static little list here. No more items. Save captured list. I didn't name it. Grade
I bet
pieces.
I bet Lauralee wants that sweet contact information underneath.
Save captured list. Let's see what else is down here. Oh yeah, heck.
Yeah, get her that.
All right, just text.
Theoretically,
this
right
is
there. Visible text.
Looks like I go a little bit more.
Yes.
I can get the individual pieces. Visible, and then phone number, and then address. It just takes a little bit of moving around. These are cool. These look like probably a list. Applying, application deadline, tuition. This is
wow. This is a great use case. This is a great page.
I'm looking at the left. Look at all these.
Like contact names, which is not on these.
Yeah.
Third row, correct, Lauralee. You guys are the best. Nick's the best. I just forced him into doing
live challenge. Luckily, it was a site that cooperated. They don't always cooperate. So yeah, I will go back to this. I think you've gotten the idea. Yep. So that works. So then you could connect the two robots together. So when you scrape a list of schools, you go in and get the details of each one. One last tip about deep scraping. You often don't need the data that's in the first robots to look at all, because the detail page usually has it. So you use the first one just to get all the detail pages, but then you can just look at the data from the detail robot, because everything should be in there. All the stuff on the list page should also be in the details. So you now have that second robots table that you can look at in Browse AI or integrate somewhere else and have all the pieces you need. Ooh, I might want to use this as an example for another webinar. It's pretty good.
Yep, that's a really good one.
Thanks, Lauralee.
Corey, I checked out yours. I've been playing around, followed exactly the same instructions kind of that Nick has gone through. Shop Perfumer's Apprentice. I'm on the cereals flavors page in the robot, and I've been able to kind of convert that into a list really easily. Lucky Leprechaun cereal flavor sounds delicious. Great. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up? Thank you, everyone, for the questions and interaction today.
This was fun Friday. People are spicy.
Friday. I think that's it. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for
review all these questions afterwards. Yeah. Thanks so much. This was fun.
Awesome. All right. Have a great rest of everyone's day. Have a great weekend. And thank you, Nick.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.